Harris failed to read the room. The strategy of the Kamala Harris campaign sounded great on paper. She would stay clear of the unpopular progressive position of 2019, unapologetically embrace American patriotism and freedom, and establish a broad coalition by gladly accepting the endorsement of former Republican officials and office holders like Liz Cheney and former Vice President Dick Cheney. For more than a decade, between 50% and 75% of the country has told pollsters they think the country is on the wrong track. That's the most widely discussed measure of discontent. But there are others that tell an even bleaker story. Asked by Gallup in October if they are satisfied with the way things are going on in the country, barely more than a quarter of respondents said yes. Another long-standing Gallup poll tracks the level of public confidence in major U.S. institutions. It's been falling since the debacle of the Iraq War and the financial crisis of 2008, and currently reveals that a mere 28% of Americans have such a confidence. Perhaps bleakest of all is a Pew poll about the trust in government, which is set at an astonishingly low 22%. It was the wrong time to be the defender and the champion of America's governing establishment. To put the problem somewhat different terms, Ms. Harris ran for president as a conservative aiming to preserve, protect, and defend the country's bipartisan political establishment against the anti-system furor that's been rising for many years in the electorate, and that is fuel behind the MAGA movement. The problem is that there simply aren't enough voters in the mood to celebrate that establishment and its works. The first step in doing so would be to admit some of the mistakes public servants from both parties have made over the past 2 decades and express humility about them, along with the desire to learn from those errors. In some cases, this could yield promises to change or even halt some government work. Parts of what Ms. Harris, is the proposed reforms designed to increase the housing supply and lower housing cost, building on the Biden administration's efforts at permitting reform, were tentative steps in this direction. They paid few political dividends because they were isolated lines in stump speeches rather than an integral part of the campaign's overarching vision of the country's future. Many Americans have lost their trust in government. Democrats needed to be at the forefront of helping to earn back that trust. The first step toward doing so, like an effort to overcome an addiction, must be admitting there's a problem. If the painful drubbing at the polls has that effect on the party, it may well prove to have a salutary effect.